Good MoonDay morning, watery ones. Oh my goodness, it has been a very long time since I have been able to do a video and check in. So I thought that this morning I would do a good MoonDay morning, although to be honest, by the time this gets uploaded and released, it'll probably be Monday afternoon. But my goodness, so much has changed. So I think that the last time I did one of these check-ins, it was this summer. I was either in North Carolina or just getting back, and I was gearing up for the Wild Woman Campout and Jimbala. And this year at Jimbala, which is a big belly dance convention, I did two pieces. I did one with Sedona Soulfire and her group, and then I also did one with Valoria, which is a ritual theater group. And about that same time, my partner decided to change careers, and he went from being full-time in the corporate world to an entrepreneur working for himself. And it's actually been good. It was a little rocky start, like it always is when you do big shifts like that. But I mean, it was good, you know, it was really good. My camera here. There we go. Trying to get the glare off of my glasses. So it's been good. It's been really good. He's been at home working a lot, and so I get to spend a lot of time with him, which is nice. And he's just happier because that corporate box environment, it's soul sucking, you know? So anyway, so yeah, he left, and lots of change there. And then just about that same time, all as this is going on, I got my second contract for my next book, and it is going to, of course, be about water. It will have an esoteric / magical water theme. And the really cool part about it is, as I've been writing it, I have found that the same thing that happened with the first book is happening with this book, and it is actually going to be bigger than I expected it to be. And so I've already talked to my publishers about a possibility of a third one, and they kind of seem open-minded. So I've taken out some material, and hopefully that will be saved for a third book. We'll see. And my first draft manuscript is actually due for the second book in about 15 days. And so once that is done, then hopefully I will be given the go, the okay to talk about my book and kind of release it, let you guys know what the cover looks like, let you know what it's actually about, what it's called, all that kind of stuff. But I actually don't even have control over that. So yeah, so that's kind of a cool thing. Also, about that same time, The Magical Times, which you guys know I've been writing for since 2013. I have a couple articles in their latest magazines. This one is the spring to fall, like early fall or summer, spring, you know, late April to September, so mostly summer. And this one actually has two articles about water in it, if you're interested. The first one is, let's see, well, I had them open just a second ago, but I guess it's probably not going to work well, so let's do this here. Okay. The first article in the issue number 26 is about this particular water goddess here. She's a Roman Gaul goddess, has some similarities to Sulis, so that'll be interesting. And then there's also an article on the elements of Celtic water magic right here. And you can get these from magicaltimes.com. You may be able to still find them. Ooh, look, there's a big ad for my book in the back. But you should be able to find these in the UK and here in the States, possibly Australia and Canada. I'm not sure. But you should be able to find those somewhere or order it from their website, themagicaltimes.com. And this is the super exciting one, you guys. This one here is, it's great. Well, first off, they stuck another big advertisement right here in the back. And so that's kind of cool. And this one also has multiple articles. It has, let's see, the first one is, well, first off, this is not by me, but this is just like, if you're really into Avalon, you might want to pick this up because they've done a really beautiful photo shoot with an Avalonian theme. And that's really beautiful. But anyways, let me get to the first article that I wanted to show you, and then I'm going to show you like the big badass one. Okay, oops, I think I just passed. Yes, okay, here we go. So there's a short article on the goddess Yemaya for my column, The ABCs of Goddesses. And if you notice, we are down to Y, which means that the column is almost finished. And so be looking for a new ABCs, perhaps of magic, instead of goddesses coming up. Undetermined. So we're not quite sure. And then this is the big article here, which I'm very, very excited about. It's called Water Priestess, of course. It's just these 2 pages, and it is about the work of a water priestess. And that actually brings me to the next thing, which is last Monday, the Water Priestess course was officially launched. The first spiral, we had over 40 people sign up, which is just humbling and amazing all at once. It's like, remember my video about like 9,000 water priestesses? Like, we're closer now, right? We've got 40 people, and maybe they'll have students and they'll have students. So I don't know, it's like really exciting and really crazy that there's so many people that are interested in this work, and it's so needed. So if you're in that course, thank you so much for being there. It's amazing. I'm really excited to kind of move through these modules with you. And if you haven't, the registration does say that it is closed, but I will take a few last minute sign-ups, wink wink. Or you can sign up for the 2020 course, which is going to be in the early spring. We will begin the spiral again, and then I will also release the 2nd and 3rd levels of the Water Priestess training. So the course number 1 is called the Well Maiden, and it is the free course, and it kind of helps you get started picking out sacred vessels, sacred adornment, and getting you right to the water's edge for blessings. And then we go into the next module, which is the water bearer, and we dive deeper. And then the last one, which will come out in the spring to summer, is called Water Priestess, and that is the final and advanced course for this. And I hope that once you're finished with all 3 modules, you'll be very, very confident in getting out there and doing the work of the priestess or the water priestess. It is very different than the other courses that I've written or offered. This one is almost exclusively on video, where in the past I've done mostly written text. For instance, like the Water Magic, the 9-month course, one of the lessons is roughly as long as 2 chapters in a book. And so it's quite deep, it's quite in detail, it's quite in depth. And the cool thing is a lot of the things that I wasn't able to put into the book, like some of the old charms and some of the old incantations, I am able to put in the course. That is a paid course. It's very, very in-depth. It does take a lot of time. It does take students more than 9 months to do on average, but you also get 9 full mentorship sessions with me and a box of supplies. So really, for the price that I ask, it's you get quite a bit, but payment plans are available for those. Just reach out and let me know. Okay, so then I wanted to so I talked about the Water Priestess course and of course Water Magic course, and so I've got a couple other things coming up. In October, I flew to Phoenix and I offered a water magic class at Fantasia Crystals, and I also hosted my very first, not my first sacred dance class, because I've been teaching sacred dance for many years, but my first sacred dance that focuses on prayers to the water, or intention in conjunction with the water, protection, healing, this kind of stuff. And it's a wonderful 2-hour workshop where we learn hand gestures and mudras and particular combinations or movements in a watery nature. And there's a tiny bit of free dance movement meditation. There is a little bit of a unique yoga combination that I have kind of created for this course, as well as the actual prayer choreography, or combination. And so it's a long combo or mini choreography. So if you're interested in taking that, I'm going to be offering it here in Portland in January. Mid-January will be when that course is, and you can actually sign up at waterwitchcraft.com right now or at anwindance.com, either one. And that actually leads me to another thing that I'm going to be doing. On December 3rd, it's a Tuesday night, I will be teaching a protection magic class. And we're going to go over a whole bunch of different protection charms so that you can protect yourself. You can protect yourself from other witches and other castings and enchantments. That also counts if you have like very religious family that may be praying for you or something like that, which is unwanted baneful magic. And so it can be unwanted baneful magic. Obviously, if they're, praying for your health and for that kind of stuff, that's different. But if they're praying for you because you're a witch or because you're magical, this counts as magic that is against our consent, and therefore falls into the baneful category. And so I have some great ways for you to kind of break these enchantments and charms and this type of energy that people are putting on you, as well as how to protect your friends, and also calling on spirits for protection in the astral realms. And so we'll be talking about all of that. We'll have a good hour and a half to speak together and ask questions. Bring your notebook. If you've ever taken my class, I'm an information dumper. And so when I get going, you just got to start taking your notes. Okay, so moving on. So that will be December 3rd, Tuesday night. I will be offering either once or twice a month more of these types of small classes on Tuesday evenings. And that leads me to the next thing. Early September, I made a big change in my sacred dance life. And I had finished kind of this 9-month, a little bit less than, process with Valoria, the ritual theater group that I was with. And we all kind of finished. We had this nice big peak, and we finished at this big performance. And when we kind of met again, it was very clear to the directors that they kind of wanted to go a different direction. And what they were hoping for, I was super gung-ho and super excited to do. But when I looked at the actual requirements and the dates, I couldn't do it. It conflicted too much with what I'm doing right now, which is finishing up my manuscript and working on a couple other secret projects. And I just couldn't commit to it. And so I had to kind of take a temporary step back. And so I hope that the door is open to kind of move forward with Valoria in the future, but I don't know if that's what's going to happen. I've also been kind of invited into another project, and I have also had these amazing visions of some Atlantean priestess dancing. And so I kind of want to start working on those as well. I've also been kind of secretly working and conditioning and really pushing myself. Of course, it's not secret if I'm about to tell you. But I've been working with Ruby Bay, who is just a phenomenal dancer, and she's a brilliant, brilliant teacher. And so I've been working with her once a week and really kind of focusing on getting my personal dance and my technique and the ways that I'm kind of dancing to a deeper but higher level, if that makes sense. And so I've been working with her a lot, and that's taken up a lot of time. She's a pretty tough teacher, but that's why I wanted her, is I wanted somebody that was going to drill sergeant me and be like, you have to dance all these things. And so I've been working with her, and I'm feeling just really good about like my own performances. Speaking of performances, I have done a few restaurant performances. It's been many years since I've danced in a restaurant, and really excited to kind of have gotten back into that. I don't have dates lined up for 2020 yet, but there will be for sure. So I'll definitely get those on the website if you wanted to see them. and find out where some belly dancers will be. Okay, so moving on to other important things. My son is now unenrolled from public school. And yes, I said that with an attitude in my head. The bullying has gotten so bad at Colton Middle School, and unfortunately the superintendent is very, very interested in protecting the bullies and not the children that are getting bullied. And unfortunately, my son's little crew had 5 people in it, and 2 of them did not come back this year because the bullying was so bad. And so Alec made it through 2 months, a month and a half, really. And so now there's 2 kids left in his crew because we've pulled Alec out of that school, which is very unfortunate for those 2 kids because, there's protection in numbers, but unfortunately, when 3 out of 5 children leave a school because of a group of bullies and that the bullies continue to not get punished for their actions is a major failure. And the superintendent of the Colton district is absolutely responsible for this. I'm publicly calling her out. Absolutely. It's her job to protect children, especially children that are perhaps smaller, get picked on a lot, are neurodiverse, or are different. And unfortunately, the superintendent's solution to my son getting bullied in the hallways because of his autism is be different. If you don't want to be bullied, don't stand out. And we live in a world right now that is not an acceptable answer, and I honestly can't even believe that she has a PhD and that any university gave her that degree. Because you're getting picked on because you have autism, and the superintendent's solution is don't act like you have autism so you don't get picked on. Asinine. So anyways, we are trying the computer school for my son, and it's his first day. He's in orientation right now, and so far he's a lot happier. And the really cool thing is it's the same computer school as the 2 kids that were in his little crew that also left school. And so while he doesn't get to have that like one-on-one interaction at school, he gets to have that one-on-one interaction via webcam. And the school also has lots of activities in person on Friday or Fridays. And so I'm really excited about that. So we've gone from kind of everybody working these like 9 to 5, 8 to 4 type of things to having both my partner and my son home 24/7. And honestly, it's just been really nice. It's been really nice to see my son smile and to have conversations with me and not just come home and go downstairs. So, bullying can scar people for life, and it's really unacceptable. And to ask a neurodiverse child to just not act neurodiverse or to act neurotypical can also really cause a lot of problems in their adult lives, because then they constantly are trying to be something that they're not rather than accepting who they are and working through that. So speaking of bullies, this is probably the final time that I'm going to mention this, but unfortunately, even in the adulthood, we can get bullied, and social media is a major outlet for that. So if you follow me on Instagram, you may have seen last week that there was a very big throwdown with the account called the_Hawthorne_witches_T. You can also find them on Facebook as the Witches Hawthorne Tea, and also on Etsy as the Witches Hawthorne Tea. So, unfortunately, when you post my content without permission, and then you use the hashtags that I created, they show up in my feed. And what this person did is they took some video, I don't even know where it came from, it's not mine, and which they probably also stole that. Then they took my blog, one of my blogs, and they took out chunks of it, and they placed it into the text, the caption, as like they were speaking, like they had come up with this information. And I called them out on it October 10th by commenting on the thread, making a story, tagging them, and then commenting on the thread again. That was October 10th. 2 weeks later, my editor, Jason Mankey, also commented on their thread. Okay? A month later, I popped up in my feed again, and so I went and commented in the stories, and I tagged them. So on the 5th call out, they answered. And everything was excuses. We didn't know, we don't know, blah, blah. We didn't even get this, we didn't create this content. We actually stole it from somewhere else. So we're not the thieves because we stole it from the thieves. That was their, basically, me paraphrasing their things. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you got it from. Plagiarism is plagiarism. Plagiarism is such a big offense that you can literally be kicked out of university and never, ever, ever admitted to another one again. There have been authors that have plagiarized large portions of books and have been blacklisted forever. Like nobody ever hears about them again. And unfortunately, what they had done is taken my soul, my content, my creation, my work, my path, my passion, and stole it, posted it on the comments like they were the ones that had written it. And they didn't even link, they didn't even say who it was from. They didn't link to my blog or anything. So this is when it gets kind of crazy. So they're insisting that they didn't plagiarize it. And I'm just like, whatever, take it down. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. If you're driving a stolen car, you're driving a stolen car. It doesn't matter if you got it from a thief or from the lot. It's stolen. Same thing with money. If you're spending stolen money, doesn't matter if you stole it or your brother stole it. It's still stolen money. So at Pathos, I get paid pennies. Pennies, okay? I maybe get 2 paychecks from them a year, and neither of them have ever been over $70. So that's how much I get paid for my writing. Very max at Pathos, $140 a year, but I've never even made that, okay? So to have somebody take my work that I should be getting paid for so that I can feed my family, my son, my animals, and use it for their own content is gut-wrenching. And they did take the post down after a month that afternoon. And the next morning I wake up and I have, and remember, mind you, my post was on stories, so it's a 24-hour feed and then it disappears. And so she was insisting that I take it down. We took down your post, you have to take down yours. And I basically was like, hell no. You ignored me for over a month. You had my content live on 3 of your pages, Tumblr, Facebook, and Instagram, for a month without any acknowledgement. And you can't handle the fact that I called you out and it's going to be up for 4 more hours? I don't really think that's fair. So I said no. I did say that you're welcome to pay my stolen content fee, which is $1,000 per use. And guess what? If you go and you read Instagram's terms of services, you know what it says? You are responsible for any fees that are acquired due to the content that you post. Instagram's terms of services not only protect me from plagiarism, because you're not allowed to post content that's not yours, but it also says that if you post content that isn't yours, you are responsible for the fees. And yeah, absolutely, $3,000 is ridiculous. But so is stealing somebody's content and posting it. And so what they did is they took my private messages and they made a permanent post on their Instagram page. Now, they have 16 point whatever thousand followers, and I have 2,000 maybe. And so they said it in a way that was like, I'm not calling this person out, blah, 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 blah. But it's exactly what they were doing. And then I started getting a barrage of messages. and this is where it really gets bad. She thought that she could maybe protect herself somehow by doing this, but really what she did was she outed herself as an awful human being, because on the thread, as well as all the private messages, well, first off, I was just getting massive amounts of private messages that were awful, like you're this, you're that, name calling. But on this thread that had maybe over 100 comments, people were body shaming me, calling me fat. They were calling me mentally ill. And oh, this is really funny, you guys. I only have 2,000 followers on Instagram, so I'm super new. You guys, I've been around since MySpace. I don't steal content, and I don't post other people's content, which is why my feed or my followers are less. And so because I refused to take it down, somehow she thought that it was okay that she would bully me. And this is where it gets awful. On that thread where people were calling me mentally ill and fat shaming me and everything else, she was literally using it to promote her business. She was posting links to her store. She was talking about how she just does this so she can feed her cats. She has a nonprofit. Well, what about my cats? What about my autistic child? What about my mortgage? You know, I don't really care about your stupid cats. I've got 4 of them I've got to feed as well. So, what? So she actually used the thread where people were body shaming me to promote her work. And so she actually profited off of body shaming and bullying me. So she thought that she was righteous for doing this because she took the post down and therefore I shouldn't have my post up. But here's the hilarious part. For the entire 24 to 48 hours that she had that post up, she didn't take the posts down. She still had them live on Tumblr and Facebook, which means that why her patrons were bullying and body shaming me, and she was making a profit off of it, she was still profiting and using my plagiarized material on other platforms. Yeah. Hawthorne, the Hawthorne and Witch's Tea. And I guess if she sees this video or if somebody decides to send it to her, I guess the only thing that I really could say is I'm just going to quote her and say, literally, I am just defending myself. If you run a vulture content account, you are actually violating the terms of service of Instagram. You are not allowed to post content that is not yours. It is called Instagram. The intent of that particular platform was to actually make instant videos or instant pictures in the moment and to post them. Now, we've all gotten clever. We've uploaded things from, we make things on our computer, we type it all out, and then we upload them. And that's great too. But that doesn't mean that you can just harvest stuff off of other websites and use it. That's not how this works. It's still plagiarism, okay? It's still copyright infringement. It's still trademark infringement. By the way, I am trademarked for Magic Mendy. So, trademarked, copyrighted, plagiarized, all of it. So let this be a lesson to you that if you have a vulture account where you go around and you steal other people's content, you must have written permission from them to actually post that material. End of story. It's just the way it is. That's the law. And if you can't follow the law, you have no right to call out the person that is the victim. Now, I totally got a little crazy on that thread because I actually couldn't believe that someone was doing that. And then she blocked me when I called her out on the thread. And I have multiple accounts on Instagram, and it's not a secret. I have the Triskel Rose account, which is a newer account, but it was created several months ago. It's to promote Triskel Rose material. And I have my Sacred Dance Alchemy profile that I've actually had for a long time, but I go through these weird cycles where I delete everything and and I'm not going to use it. So I signed on to the other threads to try and just defend myself, and it just got even worse. And people are just people are actually awful human beings. And she put me through so much emotional labor. she was saying, oh, I feel so awful. No one's ever called me a thief before. I'm going to go cry. But yet she didn't even take a second to think about what she was doing to me. About the fact that she's literally stealing my content to make a profit and taking that money away from me. The very few pennies that I make for it. Anyways, so I said that this was going to be the last time that I spoke about this, and so it is. But I did want to put this out there because that was a big kerfuffle, and I have every right to ask you to take down my content. I have every right to defend myself, and I have every right to say, you cannot have my stuff, but you have no right to treat me in the manner that you've treated me, or anybody else. If somebody comes to your page and says, you plagiarized my stuff, you delete that right away. And if they want to leave it up that you plagiarized it, guess what? You don't have a leg to stand on. If I came up to you and said, I really like your TV, I think it's great, I'm just going to take it. Oh, no, I'm not going to actually take it because I'm not a thief. But I just really think that it's so awesome. I'm going to go share it with everybody. It's not your TV to share. And that goes for my written content as well. Years of research, years of practice. And then to get bullied for that is just awful. So, yeah, that happened. I do want to move on from that. So, but just here's the thing. Create original content. If you don't have enough material to create original content, perhaps you shouldn't be offering wares. Perhaps you shouldn't be teaching. Perhaps you shouldn't be sharing information that doesn't belong to you and that you didn't write. This is a really big problem I have within this pagan community and witchcraft community is they're people actually think that they're the authority on things because they're posting content that sounds right, that sounds good, that sounds researched, and it is by other people. And that's just not okay. It's not okay that you call yourself a witch or a healer or whatever and then harm other people to your better ends. We can't be doing this. This is awful behavior. Awful behavior. And there's no place in witchcraft for it. So, and by the way, if you did see my post about my Kelpie, I have a pet Kelpie and I do feed bullies to it. Okay, so I wanted to talk to you about, one more thing. Okay, so, two more things. Okay, so for local people, if you're in Portland, December, I think it's the 14th. It's a Saturday. I'm going to be at Tryon Farms with my lovely Emma Ket. Emma Ket is a beautiful priestess and fellow sacred dancer friend of mine, and she is going to be creating a lantern dance for us to do for the solstice. And so I'm really excited to be working with her. And so that's coming up. And then the other thing that is local that's coming up is December 8th. We have, so I'm in 200-hour yoga teacher training. I started that in September. I think that I got sidetracked and I was going to tell you guys about that before, but so I'm in yoga teacher training. I graduate in January. 2 weeks after the sacred dance class. So I'm really excited to get to show you guys my yoga combination that I came up with. It's a water warrior yoga combo. So movement meditation for the body and the mind, but also to kind of charge yourself with that protect the waters type of energy. We are going to be doing a fundraiser and bazaar for the solstice. It's going to be December 8th, and it is Saturday, and it is going to be at Thrive Yoga in Oregon City. And I will be offering for the first time in Portland area, publicly, henna art. So if you don't know, I'm actually a henna artist. I've been for many, many years, and I've actually had my art published in international magazines. When I moved to the Pacific Northwest, like dance, I wanted to take a break from things for a little bit before I jumped back in, and so I did. I did henna my friends and kind of keep active in the wrist movements, but I wasn't offering it professionally and publicly. And so December 8th at the Yoga Bazaar, I will be offering it for the first time here in Oregon. And so I'm really excited to be getting back into henna and to kind of work with this beautiful plant medium again. I will also be teaching, co-teaching actually, a class with my friend Heather. She is also in the yoga teacher training, and so we'll be offering one of the first classes, and then for the rest of the day there'll be short classes offered by the rest of the teachers that are in training. And so very, very cheap. It's like $5 for raffle tickets. We've got raffles, we've got massage therapists, we're gonna have honey vendor, we're gonna have fairy hair, henna, so many things. I think there's going to be jewelry, like lots of cool stuff, and then we'll also be offering the yoga classes on top. And so it's a really, really great day, and if you are interested in taking some yoga classes, spending the whole day in yoga, coming out to support yoga teachers and Thrive Studio in Oregon City, then please come and visit. I would absolutely love to see you guys, and I'd love to give you some henna. Okay, I'm trying to think. I'm looking around to see if I had anything else laid out. I'm sure that there's other things that I'm forgetting to tell you guys, but I guess that that's a really good update on my life and kind of what's going on in the world at the moment, or in Anwin's world at the moment, I should say. Yeah, so thank you guys so much for, joining me and listening to me ramble about stuff. This is a very personal video, kind of a personal check-in, I will be offering more educational videos in the future, and I'm hoping that over this nice quiet winter I will be able to kind of be on here a little bit more and maybe do some weekly releases as well as some written blogs. I've got a few queued up as well, but I've kind of been like real focused and stuck in finishing up my books. So anyways, thank you guys so much for joining me. Don't forget, we have Water Wednesdays at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, free oracle readings, and whatever the heck I want to talk about. Lately, it's been about priestess work, Atlantis priestesses, but who knows where it'll go next week. So anyways, thank you so much for joining me again, and I hope to see you next time. Have a wonderful watery week, you guys. Bye.